The silence was a thick blanket this morning, smothering the tiny sounds that used to fill our mornings. The clinking of his coffee mug, the rustle of the newspaper, a mumbled good morning that felt like a warm hand on my cheek. Those sounds had faded, replaced by this vast, empty quiet. Sunlight dripped through the kitchen window, painting a pale square on the worn wooden floor. I watched dust motes dance in the light, each one a tiny, lonely universe. I am safe in this moment. It was just a day, another rotation of the earth. But inside me, something felt irrevocably broken, like a favorite teacup dropped on unforgiving stone. He was already gone, a phantom limb, the imprint of his body still visible on the bed. On my side, the sheets were cool, untouched. I traced the curve of the pillow he abandoned. It still held the faintest scent of him, a ghost of sandalwood and something sharper, something new I couldn't quite place. The memory of last night flickered, a shared meal in silence, 2 figures bathed in the cold light of screens. No touch, no conversation, a shared space occupied separately. We were ships passing in the night. I poured myself a cup of tea, the steam warm on my face, a small comfort in the coldness that settled in my bones. I added honey, watched it swirl and dissolve into the amber liquid, a brief, sweet moment, but the sweetness didn't reach the ache that had taken root inside. Outside, the birds were singing, oblivious to the quiet despair that had taken hold of my world. They built nests, found their mates, sang their songs without apology. They simply existed in joyful purpose, while I felt lost and adrift. I wandered into the garden, the damp earth cool beneath my bare feet. I ran my fingers along the velvety petals of a rose, its crimson vibrant against the muted greens of the leaves. I am grounded. I breathed in its scent, a burst of summer even as the leaves hinted at autumn's approach. It wasn't a single event, not a dramatic fight or a tearful confession. It was a slow, creeping realization that had settled over months, maybe years. The erosion of connection, the gradual replacement of affection with indifference. I remembered the day we first held hands, the electric shock that ran through my veins, the feeling that everything was possible, that we could conquer the world together. Those hands now seemed like strangers to me. His toothbrush in the holder, his jacket hanging on the hook by the door, these were not signs of love, but arrangements of convenience. These were the fixtures of a roommate, not a partner. I saw a small weed pushing through the cracks in the patio stones, tenacious and determined. I admired its strength. I will find my own strength. I pulled it free, its roots surprisingly deep, and tossed it into the compost bin. I walked back inside, the scent of rosemary and thyme clinging to my fingers. I looked around the kitchen, really looked, at the space we had created together. The chipped mugs, the mismatched plates, the cookbook stained with the memories of shared meals. It was a tableau of a life that was no longer ours. The sunlight had shifted, painting a different square on the floor, longer, more defined. Time was moving on, whether I was ready or not. I trusted the timing of my life. I thought of the future, a future that stretched out before me, vast and unknown. A future that was no longer defined by we, but by I. It was a daunting prospect, but also a strangely liberating one. I picked up a photo from the mantelpiece. Us, years ago, younger, happier. Our eyes shone with a promise that time had failed to keep. I smiled, a small, sad smile, and gently set it back down. I am healing. The day stretched out before me, an empty canvas waiting to be filled. I knew what I had to do. I knew what I deserved. I would start with the quiet and build from there. I am enough. I finished my tea, the last sip warm and comforting. Then I turned to face the sun and began to plan my day.